World of Warcraft, a game with countless expansions, and yet somehow the classic version remains one of the most played. And if you ever wandered through Azeroth, chances are you have run into a classic mage doing what they do best, pulling half of the zone, stacking up mobs, and wiping them in one swift, satisfying burst. A lot of people are saying that AOE farming is one of the hardest way to level up, and if you're playing on hardcore, it might not even be worth it. The risk of dying is just that high. But I want to learn, I want to do it the hardest way possible and maybe even master it. It won't be easy, I don't expect things to go smoothly on my first try, but I know I will improve. My goal for this challenge is to hit level 30 because the hardest part is the beginning, when you barely have the tools to succeed. So let's start this journey and find out, can a beginner learn to AOE farm like a pro in hardcore? First we need to create our mage. I'm going with undead because let's be honest, the aesthetics are just too good to pass up. We speed through the starting zone as fast as possible and make our way to Silver Pine Forest where the real adventure begins, but before we start AOE farming we need to hit level 14. That's when we unlock our first AOE spell, Arcane Explosion. We grind quests, push through Silver Pine Forest and finally hit our goal, level 14. Now with Arcane Explosion locked and loaded, it's time to put our plan into action. Before diving in, we stock up on some stamina and intellect gear to boost our survivability and mana pool. Managing mana is crucial, not just for damage, but for those oh crap moments when a mob resists or slips away. Running out of mana mid-pool while 4 or 5 angry mobs are still chasing you, yeah. Fuck no. With everything in place, it's time for our first test. Let's try to do our first AOE pull. I need to slap the mobs with my wand, manipulate them to touch each other, hop outside the fence so they don't hit me and start slapping that arcane explosion with insane ferocity. I instantly felt excitement and a sense of accomplishment, but this was actually the easiest part. These mobs are 3 to 4 levels under me. It was like bullying a 9-year-old at the skate park. I went around slapping more of them just to warm up to what I need to do, and I even helped a fellow mage do a quest. Now we are ready to start walking to the next field, where there were more stronger mobs and the real challenge begins. When we get there, we start slow, pulling 3 road heights and easily disassembling them, but I see a fella on the verge of death, so I rush to save the day as the hero I am. And after the encounter, I get the courage to go for a bigger pull that was perfectly stacked for me. I see we are ready to start the grind, so we put on some chill jazz music and calm ourselves in the stressful situation to smash everybody on the field. While grinding here, of course, we get some insanely close calls and some scary situations, but we manage through and it even starts feeling natural. Except these moments where you get the 3 stages of AOE farming. Shit your pants, panic heart attack, burst of relief following by the happiness of survival. Before starting, I heard a lot of people say that this method of leveling is boring, but maybe doing it for the first time on hardcore, it was the most thrilling one I have experienced yet. But of course, as I knew it would happen, I forget my buffs. We go into this house, pull some mobs, and while pulling some from the far ones, we get some respawns. At first I thought it was safe. I freeze them, I bandage my ass and try to regain control. But in the chaos, I panic and decide to run. Big mistake. I get dazed, stumble and die in the stupidest way possible. But that will not stop me to reach my goal. Without hesitation, I create a new mage and start all over again. This part you know already, so let's just jump to a rocky AOE farming montage. Well, that was old school, but after grinding my way to level 17, I run into another mage and we decide to take on a level 21 quest because why not? Dumb? Absolutely. Fun? 100%. Navigating around level 20 mobs while resisting almost every spell was thrilling and the perfect embodiment of hardcore WoW. Isn't it all about pushing the limits, taking on the hardest challenge and playing just well enough to survive? Okay, I won't lie, I was a little bit nervous. Last time on my previous mage at level 25 I barely made it out alive thanks to some hyper spawns that nearly killed me. But this time we have an advantage, we can sheep up to 2 mobs which would make things a lot smoother. The most fun, and by fun I mean terrifying, moments came from mobs resisting our Frost Nova. Somehow everything goes insanely smooth. We finish the quest, escape untouched and live to tell a tale. With this done, we turn in our mage quest, give each other a note of respect and go our separate ways. Now we are ready to head to our next farming zone. The mobs here are stacked and hit like absolute trucks, so we need to be extra careful, especially for the first 2 to 3 levels, where even a small mistake can be deadly. I start with a test pool on 2 roadhide brutes, and yeah, that was way too close, but hey, close calls build confidence, right? So I get in slow and steady, first real pool, immediately panic. Honestly, I was probably dead here, but out of nowhere this random mage swoops in and saves my life, so I offer him if he wants he can stay and farm with me until I get the hang of this. I see my mage buddy getting inspired, trying to AOE farm for himself, but it's not going great for him. Still, we managed to grind together for a bit, which is definitely faster than struggling solo on lower levels. And just when I'm about to level up, I do something insanely dumb. I take a 5 mob pool. But I realize I was actually safe and without the HP from leveling, so I start getting some confidence. We make sure to clear near the door, gotta have a clean escape route just in case. And then, out of nowhere, my new mage friend has a bright idea. Suddenly, he's all in, expecting me to carry him through the entire zone. Now, I know you don't want to watch some safe boring grind, so I'll be real with you. My guy was about as reliable as a McDonald's ice cream machine, but hey, I rode with him. It was like playing with a disabled kid from the end of the street. Man, bless his heart. While farming, we came across a level 16 warrior, and the moment I saw him, I just knew we are about to witness a murder. Sure enough, mid-fight I glance over and see him getting absolutely pummeled by the brutes, barely clinging on to life. I tried to get to him, but it's too late, so back to Brill he goes. You lose some and you win some, but at the end of the day, the most important thing is that you learn. After a while, my mage buddy decides to call it a day, and I was on my own in this scary place trying to maneuver around. That's when I find my secret weapon. These little woes scattered around, absolute lifesavers. If I time it just right, I can juke mobs endlessly, dodging their hits like some PvE mastermind. As I am farming, suddenly out of the castle a damsel in distress appears, sprinting for her life, chased by the horrors lurking inside. And of course, as the hero I am, I spring into action. With a swift Frost Nova, I freeze the mobs in place, take aggro and save them from what could have been a horrific fate. Another day, another rescue. While waiting for response, I decide once again to do something insanely dumb. I go for a poo inside the castle, completely ignoring the fact that mobs there have a special enrage buff that makes them hit like a drunk uncle with a belt. Mid-poo, reality kicks in. I realize I've made a huge mistake, so I do what any sane person would do and run for my life. Of course, on the way out, I manage to poo even more mobs, because why not? But with some quick thinking and pure panic, I Frost Nova, jump inside the water and barely escape with my life. In the process, I also scared the hell out of this rogue passing by, but hey, everything turned out fine. For me at least. Right after saying I'd never go back in the castle, I go back in. Maybe with this rogue on our side we can make it to the quest item there, but oh, was I wrong. From the first pool we are in trouble, but we scrape by. The rogue though, he's committed, won't stop, and being the good guy I am, I stick around, knowing he will die alone otherwise. What I didn't know was that we are about to have the closest call ever. We hit upstairs but pull 5 mobs, then while escaping pull even more that won't stop chasing us. In the last second, as an angel sent from heaven, I freeze the pile of angry mobs just a second before deleting my rogue friend. We barely make it to the water and survive. Easily my scariest clutch ever, I won't lie. Now I felt invincible, but with this sense of cautious, I tell a rogue that this quest ain't worth it and continue farming our XP outside. After farming for a while, my old mage buddy suddenly pops up out of nowhere. Since he's taking my mobs outside, I figure why not, and let's do another castle pull. Again, big mistake. The moment I pull, bro disappears faster than Harry Houdini, leaving me stranded and gearing up for another death marathon. Luckily, just a few steps from the door, he's waiting to swoop in and play the hero. Crisis averted, but seriously, I have to stop doing this. At this rate, I'm never making it to 20. While farming, I couldn't help but admire how Gandalf the Mighty himself rode in, snagged some of my mobs, and then at some point offered me to power level him. I politely declined him, knowing that's not the challenge you came to watch. Honestly, refusing help makes it even harder for me, but let's just pretend I didn't say that and continue our journey as intended. The next close call was on a normal pool. I finished off the first 4 mobs and everything seemed fine until respawn showed up. No biggie, I take care of him, but when 2 more spawn, I suddenly am down with 50 HP and panic mode kicks in. With no blink or freeze up, I start running for my life, and my surprise waiting outside like a guardian angel is my old friend Gandalf, ready to save my butt once again. We grind out the mobs and finally hit level 20, which feels like a big milestone. We heart out and clean our bags, hand off some of the better loot to the guildmates and learn some new skills and get ready for the next step of our journey. We still need at least 10 more levels to be satisfied. While AOE farming, I get this idea to do a quick Dead Mines run for some loot, so I join a guildmate's party. If you ever played Horde, you know the journey to Dead Mines is a wild ride in hardcore mode, but that wasn't the issue. When we get there though, I immediately feel something is off with the tank. He's playing weird and I just couldn't trust him. It's hardcore and you know time is very valuable, so I decided not to go through it because if something went wrong I would be pissed. I tell the group and most of them agree. We abandon the mission. But here's where things get insane. I realize I don't have a heartstone and the healer, being the real gem, just says nope and leaves us for dead. Honestly, that was the most bullshit moment I've witnessed in hardcore so far. Thankfully, the other guys were on the same page as me, so we walk out of the dungeon together, not before having an insanely close fight with the mines itself. After a couple of hours, I hit level 22 and decide it's time to move on to the next zone. I grab some gear from the auction house and make sure I've got enough mana, then pick up level 2 Arcane Explosion, crucial upgrade for this next phase. Now I'm off to Hillsbrad Foothills to farm melon farmers, but first we need to do a bit of questing to level up some more. We're not quite ready yet for the farm. We don't have enough mana to finish up the AOE rotation. We quickly knock out the quest we need to start the grind and we are ready to bring chaos to the fields. After a few test pulls, I realize it's a little too close for comfort, so I decide to find a dungeon for some better gear to make sure we are safe on the field. I'm not dying to these melon farmers again. We find the party and head out to our first Shadowfang Keeps run. And right away, we grab some great shoulders from the quest. Just look how excited I am about 5 intellect. Ooh, let's go. But of course, further down the dungeon we get a shoulder drop from one of the bosses and suddenly the excitement is through the roof. Another 5 intellect boost. Yo, yeah, let's go. Now we are cooking. I was so invested in this challenge and with another 10 intellect boost, AOE domination in Hillsbrad is just around the corner. Those farmers didn't stand a chance. The last boss drops another insane item, but of course we lose the row and we are ready to fly back to Hillsbrad and continue this journey to become an AOE farming pro. When I get to the spot, I see another mage doing the same, but he was 3 levels above me and there's no way I can compete with that. But I sneak my first 3 mob pool and thank God there weren't any other around because it went terribly wrong. I regain my confidence and convince myself I can do it and go back to relearn the strategy. What I didn't realize is that some mobs in this game will actually run when their health drops. I go for a 4 mob pool and this time it goes perfectly. I try out a new tactic using flame strike after freezing them. It's so satisfying. The faster I beat them, the less chasing I have to do. Of course, being the hero I am, while farming I turn around and spot a hunter fighting for his life. Without hesitation I jump in, grab some aggro and Frost Nova so he can finish off the mob safely, and just like that we get our first Tenley and can continue our grind in peace. The pools are going smooth, stacking them up and blasting with Arcane Explosion before freezing and flame striking. At times I get paranoid as I see them hyper spawning, not wanting to end up stuck with no mana like before. But everything is going perfectly. I'm even using bandages mid-pull just to be extra safe. I'll leave you with a quick montage of me demolishing pools and burning the mellow fields to the ground.
This is war, pick your sides, know your stance. This is war, no telling how the story ends. This is a fallout, everybody get down. Stay out of our way. This ain't a nice show, no telling where we might go. We've high in the stairs.
I can smell the smoke from hell, it's right in the middle of us. Everybody wanna fight and they're giving no fucks when they do it on sight. With a gun or with a knife and even a bit of light when you're living in dusk in the mind. When I gotta be stuck, the crime when you wanna go bust in the nine. Never having no trust in your kind and you're really unjust.
After this insane amount of farming, we find a friendly warwalk that offers me to go in with him in this building and finish up some quests. We accept and head off with him on our new short journey. We storm in and blast through the room, finishing off the quest, go outside and invade the Hillsbrat blacksmith to steal their shipment of iron. During this encounter we are left with no mana, but with slick movement and quick evocation we manage around. I go back to turn in the newly done quest when our friend offers us to do another quick adventure through the Hillsbrat mines. Surely it won't hurt us to get some bonus XP, so I decided to do it. We grind through the mines and finish off their head manager Mr. Hickett and the main leader Foreman Bones, who was actually insanely scary, especially when we are 6 levels under him. But of course, with the help of our new friend, we delete him and manage around his spawns. And just like that, we are out of the mines and off to our AOE farming journey. At this point, I learned that there is a world buff that we can get from Ogrimmar, so I teleport there. We get every class buff that I managed to convince people to give me, and we are insanely jacked, ready to control any pool. I would guess most of you would be bored already from the constant 4 mob AOE farms, but I'm going to show you a new formation of 5, 6 and even 7 mob pools before I jump to level 26, when we have a new spell and introduce you to our final AOE rotation. I'm really enjoying myself, to be honest. This journey has been a blast. I didn't expect it to go this good, with us dying only once, but here we are closing in on our goal. But I should be careful, because if I'm not focused enough, at this point I can make a mistake and in my panic die really quick. I make my last pool and reach level 26. It's time to get my new spell Cone of Cold and finish the final rotation. This spell lets us slow the mobs we are fighting significantly while providing us with really good instant damage following the flame strike. It's time to test our new rotation. We stack them up, freeze them in place, and after casting a big flame strike we blast them with Cone of Cold, and it goes really hard. And just like that, we are at the end of this journey. I only need to farm it out from here and make it to level 30, so I'm leaving you with a montage of my last pulls and pushes before we reach our goal.
I see. Let go. This. Let go of everything. This is mine. Let go. Let go of everything. Let go!
Holy shit, that was fucking epic. And here we are, finally we have reached our goal and we are level 30. I really enjoyed this journey so much. It was thrilling from the beginning to the end. Even if it was hard, I pushed through. The hardcore was the reason why this adventure was so insane, and I hope it will inspire someone new to try this method or push his limits like me. Thank you so much for watching. If you made it to here, please make sure to leave a like. And if you want me to continue this challenge, please leave a comment and I will respond to every one of you. See you in the next episode and peace. Yep.